What's going on, guys? Stefan here with you, S&E's Garage. Behind us, we have our Mazda CX-5, and obviously we are going to begin wrenching on this very hurt Skyactiv 2.5 liter here. As you heard when we pulled this car in, it has some catastrophic failures going on in the bottom end. Sounds like rod bearings to me. We'll find out once we get this engine out. But for those of you that are familiar with our channel and have been around, you know, about 6 months ago, I guess back in January, we went ahead and we put an engine in a Mazda 6. Here's the engine we took out of it. This engine has a perfectly healthy bottom end. In fact, it started and ran and drove perfectly fine. However, it was pumping all of its oil into the cooling system. So there's something going on with either the cylinder head or the head gasket here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to tear this engine down to the block and we're going to see if it can be saved. If everything here looks to be okay, as in I don't see any cracks in the cylinder head or anything like that with my naked eye, we're going to send this head to the machine shop. We're going to have them magnaflux it, have them check it, make sure it's not cracked. And if it checks out okay, we're going to go ahead and have it cleaned up, have it rebuilt, and then we're going to slap it back on this engine, throw it in the car. Now, if there is something going on with this cylinder head, we're going to have to pull this engine, pull this cylinder head, and send it to the machine shop to see if it can be reused. I'm willing to bet here that between the two engines that we have here, we're going to be able to make one good running engine for this CX-5. So without further ado, let's go ahead. We're going to throw you on a time lapse. We're going to start tearing this apart. I'm going to start here by taking off this vacuum pump slash high pressure fuel pump assembly. We're going to pull the whole thing off. I'm going to disconnect it from the rail here. Then we're going to do the valve cover, pull the cams, pull the timing cover. We're going to tear this thing completely down and get it ready to be fixed. When the lights go down, all right, what you're going to see here is we got the whole high-pressure vacuum pump and fuel pump assembly off. Now we're going to go ahead and tackle the valve cover. Looks like it's just held in with a barrage of 10mm nuts and bolts. So let's pull that off, and then we'll tackle the front timing cover. So other than the obvious signs of a head gasket failure being all that white residue here in the valve cover, everything under here looks to be in really nice shape. This engine was well maintained up until this happened, from what I was told. So everything in here looks really clean. This is a lower mileage engine. It's only got about 119,000 miles on it, and this car has over 170 on it. So they're going to be getting a lower mileage engine, whoever ends up buying this car, with a brand new, head gasket and all that fun stuff. So now let's go ahead. We're going to go back on the time lapse. We'll bring you over to this side. We're going to go ahead. We're going to get the crank pulley off. We're going to get the front timing cover off. It looks like this motor mount is built into the timing cover, so that'll come off with that. And then we can pull the chains, or the chain. Actually, there might be two. I think there is two. There's one for the oil pump. We'll pull the chains, pull the cams, and pull the head. But you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. Alright guys, we got our front timing cover off. We pulled all of the spark plugs out, and we are on top dead center. We have our timing marks here lined up. These two dashes face each other. So we're good there. We're ready to pull the cams now and the chain. So we're going to go ahead and remove the tensioner here to 8mm. Then we can pull the guide. Looks like it's going to be held in with just a pin here, and then we can pull this guide out. It's held in with 2 8mm, and I'm gonna leave the lower chain on. I don't think I need to touch that for the balance shaft and the oil pump. We're reusing this bottom end. I don't need to retime that. That's why I just set it up on top dead center so that I knew everything would be good there. So let's go ahead, time lapse, pull the chains. So here's where we're at. We got the intake cam out, the exhaust cam out. I just went ahead and bolted the cam caps back in the order that they came in and the direction that they came in. That way, when I send this head to the machine shop, they're not going to get lost. They're tightened. We went ahead and we numbered all of our lash adjusters and all of our lifters. So when we put this together, the same lash adjuster is going on the same lifter on the same cam lobe. And then back here in the trunk of the vehicle, we have the cams, and all of the lobes are in fantastic shape. All the bearings are in fantastic shape. This engine has no metal inside of it. It is a great candidate for this truck or SUV, whatever you want to call it. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull the head. It is going to be a T55 Torx bit. We're just going to go ahead. I don't have a diagram for this per se. So we're just going to go ahead and start from the corners and work our way in towards the center. And then we can pull the head. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. Now you want to see me fall. From a quarter mile I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it up, you'll see who had it all. You had it You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, go And we got the head off. So let's go ahead, grab our flashlight here. Let's just look inside of these cylinder walls. And the crosshatch is visible in most of the wall here on numbers 2 and 3. You see a little dark mark there, but if you can't grab it with your fingernail, this engine is perfectly fine to reuse. And everything here looks good. Let's go ahead and spin it over. We'll check the other two. Now, what I do want you to notice is all of this chocolate milk in here from when the coolant and the oil decided to coincide with each other. Now, one thing I did want to show you here on the head is if we look at number 4. So here's number 4 up here. I want you to take a look right there. Right, I don't want to shine the light at it. It makes it hard to see. Right here, you can see what looks like coolant residue was on the head. So I'm willing to bet this right here is how my coolant was getting into the oiling system and combustion chamber and whatnot. It was probably leaking through here and just going right into the oil drain and just literally draining into the cooling system. So The head gasket was definitely blown. It's definitely our problem. Down here is the pressurized oil that comes out of the, it goes up to the head for the timing components and stuff. And you'll see here on this side of the gasket, you can see how worn away all of the rubberized metal is. So this engine is savable. I don't see any cracks. I'm just gonna file that down a little bit right there with a razor blade. Make sure I don't see any cracks with the naked eye. And then we're gonna go ahead and bring this head to the machine shop and have them clean it out. I am just going to also, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the cylinder block very good as well. I'm going to use a plastic Roll-Lox pad. That's what you're supposed to use for these. I'm going to clean it up real nice. Make sure I don't see any cracks on the deck. And if everything is good there, we're going to slap this thing back together with a nice fresh head and some new gaskets and throw it in the car. All right, guys, and once you're done cleaning the block where the mating surface where the block and the head are going to meet, again, like I said, we used a die grinder with a plastic bristle roll-lock. This is what it should look like. You should have a nice, uniform, clean surface. It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. This is a used engine. You don't expect this to be perfect. Clean it up. Make sure the surface is nice and clean. Use some brake cleaner or some solvent and get rid of any oil that's on it, and then cover it up. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go ahead and cover it up with a towel and await our cylinder head from the machine shop. All right, guys, we got the head back here from the machine shop, and what you're going to see is they did not deck it, and they didn't deck it for a reason. When they pressure tested it, they actually found a crack that I missed with my naked eye somehow. But what I want you to look at is right there. Let's see if we can get that to focus. Right there around that coolant port, it is cracked. And that crack propagates up and ends right here at this oil galley. Now that is a problem. If the crack wasn't all the way up, we would be able to drill this, grind it down, weld it, and then deck it and reuse this head. But unfortunately, because it gets into this oil galley, you can see the plug here, and then it comes across. This head is now a boat anchor. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and end this video. And in our next video, we are going to go ahead and pull the engine here out of the CX-5. And we're going to hope that it has a good head. So our next video on this, we're going to pull this in the shop. We're going to pressurize the cooling system. We're going to check to see if it holds pressure, and if it does, we're going to bank on being able to use this head on that short block. So if this video interested you, please like, share, and subscribe. We are going to get this Mazda running. We are going to make one good engine out of what we have here. We're going to get it in the car. See you next time.